Hello, this is Shondo's studio and I am making breakfast. I decided not to use my Brentwood 3-in-1. I wanted you to see me cook. Um, I mean, either way it's cooking, right? As long as the stuff is going from raw to cooked, it's cooked, right? Right. Anyway, I started, so here it is, making some bacon. Some small pieces, not nothing huge, but I made sure I started because, you know, sometimes baking can be one of those things that takes some time. I like my bacon crunchy. Sometimes I could do that, you know, bendy, meaty thing, but most of the time I want the fat to be crunchy, because I don't want to bite into it and be like chewy and reminds me like where it came from. You know, like I know where it came from. I don't need to be reminded of it when I'm eating it. You know what I'm saying? So I need that. You know, when you that I need that going on. The little sizzles and the crackles and the pop, and then when it cools down, it just, you know, little light snap. Some of them don't snap, you know. I'm not trying to do burnt cooked. I just want it to crunch when I bite into it, you know. Me and my daughter, we love bacon, you know. If you watch any of my other videos, you know I use my bacon fat to do a decent amount of my cooking. One, that means I'm saving up on my oils, you know, coconut oil, olive oil, that stuff, because they cost money, you know what I mean? And yeah, I want to do healthy cooking, but I also want my stuff to taste good. So, on top of saving money, it tastes good, you know? Everything don't belong in bacon fat, so I got mason jars, you know what I mean? And if I'm not using it after this, if I don't use it for anything, I put it in a jar, wait for it to cool down, pop the top on, oil, you know. I want to pan fry something real quick, bacon grease, right? If I want to do something, you know, a little different, maybe healthier, or better yet, it'll be like a quick pan fry or something, then I'll use one of the other oils that's in a bottle, because, you know, it's not a hard fry. You know, certain oils you just don't want to use to fry yourself. One, because they go from smelling good to being just nasty. So you got to be careful with that. Certain oils are just not meant to be doing no high frying. And they just taste burnt. You know, like you like, I know I cook this all the time. Like, what happened? I did that before. I think it was like for like hemp oil or something like that, and I was just like, this is not good at all. Very disappointed. I ate it because I made it. You know, I was like, how can I make this better? You know, had to fix that. So the rest of these pieces of bacon are done. I'm gonna let that cool down, you know, and let my daughter have at it for that one. So what I have left is the rest of the pancake batter. Now, here's something, I just want to show y'all something real quick. So, there's bacon grease, right? You always want to be careful if you rinse off something and then you come back to the stove to use it, because it will pop you back and be like, what you doing? You know? Like this. right? Rinsed it off. Now I know I didn't shake it enough. But that's a bad test for people who don't have arm kitchen fingers. You know, you you gotta cook a few times or fry something a few times in order to be like, ooh, I don't care how long you've been cooking. You never get used to the grease fighting back. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, um, there's a decent amount of, you know, bacon grease in here, and I'm gonna pour some of that out and then come back to you. So you see, I got a jar. That's all bacon fat, right? And that means all I need to do is take this, pour some of that in there, and boom, more oil. Yay. Don't put the top on before it cools off, because it'll get all misty and foggy in there. And I don't know what happens if that happens, but just like anything else, if it's hot, condensates, you know, all that stuff. And I ain't got time for that. So technically, I'm not making a regular pancake. I'm making my version of a crepe with pancake mix, pancake mix, right? Because crepes have kind of like a different ingredient batter that allows them to be flat and all that, and we like to use pancake batter to make flatter pancakes, quote, and use them as snacks versus breakfast. In this case, we use them as crepes. We put Nutella on them or whatever, and snack, right? So it's breakfast without the breakfast, but it's delicious. You can see it's a little flatter. You go eat your food. She over here like, what? Crepes, Nutella? Huh? Right? So it's a little flatter, right? It cooks faster, right? And I'm using the wrong utensil. You see? These are the things that happened in the kitchen, and that's okay. I have other ones, but I really like this one, and my daughter thinks it's funny, so we just gonna switch that out, right? Okay. So, see? Nice and smooth. That's why I like it. And you can see it's flat. Maybe not as flat as it can be, but it's flat. Right? And in this case, you still look for the bubbles and all that other stuff. But this is not... Nah, it's not as flat as it could be. I could get it flatter. But you know, the first one... in all batters, I don't care what you're making, is always the test one. It's always the test one. I did pancake, right? First one, mad light on the top. There's nothing wrong with that, but I like a crispy ring, and you know, it was good on the other side, and I was like, cool, we got that first one out, right? So then I get to the second one. See? Boom, boom, boom. Crispy ring. All done. Right? It happens. So, it's normal. Don't worry about it. I remember when I first started cooking, that was one of those things where I would be like, oh my goodness, why the first one always come out like a mistake? Because I like my pancakes fluffy. You know what I'm saying? Like, my batter must be thick that when you hold the spoon, like, it drops, but it's going to take a little minute, versus the batter that I just use now, where you could basically pour like water, you know? So, anyway, something like this, you can cook really quick. This is something I'm fairly comfortable with doing on a decent high fire because they're so flat, and I don't need to worry about making sure it's not doughy in the middle or nothing like that. So this for me could be a 4 or 5. Right now I got it on a 4, and that's okay. And a 4 is like a medium high fire, versus yeah, it's a medium high fire, because like a 5 is like hot, you know, like you gotta stay in here for real, or it will burn if you don't pay attention, you know. So what I'm looking for when I do flat pancakes, though, I'm looking for crispy edges on the side here, because that matters. Because it's still pancake mix, right? Because it's still got the pancake thing. I'm using a pancake mix, but those brown edges count, because when you add other things in it, you, depending on how you like your stuff, that crispy edge is going to be like, ooh, first bite, right? You know what, nutella? Oh, see? I know you would know. Okay, good job. High five. You really, alright. That's cool. That's cool. You just gonna leave me hanging like that? It's all good. Bet you're gonna be in my face when these crepes are done, though, right? Still recording? Y'all didn't hear that. Don't worry about it. So anyway, I like to put my Nutella in the refrigerator. Especially if we don't eat it as, yeah, well, that's why I'm doing it while it's on the fire. See, let me go finish your breakfast. All in my business, right? I end up putting my Nutella in the refrigerator, especially when it gets close to the expiration date. Like, you know, the refrigerator and the freezer will put some life expectancy on your stuff, you know. Another little trick, because I didn't plan on doing this, which, you know, you might hear me say that a lot, but I really didn't. So anyway, what happens is, if you do it while it's on the fire and on a medium high fire, you gotta be careful. You can just bend that, roll that, get that, right? Real quick. And that heat is gonna handle that, right? And because it's still hot, it's gonna give that Nutella some time to get a little melty, and it might even give you like just enough little chocolate bite in there where you get some and it's not, you know, falling out. And it's great. So you can make pancakes for maple syrup, or, you know, regular syrup, or this could turn into a dessert, you know. This is all I'm doing, so if this is it for you, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Have a good one. If not, this is basically what I'm going to be doing until this is over. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, hang out with me, watch the rest of my stuff, cook, clean while we do this, and we could just breathe and make noise together, right? Have a good one. Alright. Also, I made an omelet for myself. Mushroom, broccoli, eggs. I made my daughter stuff, so I put this to the side. So of course I gotta toast it, probably throw some shredded cheese on it, you know, like piece of bacon maybe, and that's it. Breakfast. Yeah. You know, I didn't mean to do that. I was supposed to stick this inside the bacon grease in order to do that. Here, take that. There you go. Eat it at your table. Appreciate it. There you go. Because we already got pancakes. She got her food. So yeah. This is just getting rid of the rest of the batter. Because too many pancakes, and then it'll be like, oh, this is for tomorrow, which is fine, but I can also pre-prepare for lunch, snack, whatever. And this is, you know, crepes, quote, quote, pancake mix, you know, is a good way to give a child food and not let you let them know that they're still eating food, because, you know, Nutella is sweet, right? Yeah. So I'm like, haha, breakfast, lunch, or dinner with some sweet, and you're full, and not like, can I have a snack? And it's, you know, chips or something like that. It's a good trick. It's a good trick. It requires being here longer after the fact, but it's helpful. And she likes it. And that's always helpful, because at this age, they seem to be real picky eaters for people who ain't got jobs. Well, actually, I'm lying. I tell her she got one job, maybe two, but specifically one. And that is to go to school and handle business. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. My job is to trick her into eating food. It's hard. You be like, eat that. Like, that's why I'm not a big fan of oatmeal or grits. Ugh, just saying the word grits. It's disgusting. I know. I'm black and, you know, or brown, as I like to say most of the time. And I got southern roots. We in here, but I'm like, I don't like it. Stop trying to make me eat it. It didn't matter. Butter, sugar, lots of sugar, didn't work for me. I'll be like, oh, I taste the sugar, and then it's like bleh, bleh, bleh. Texture issues. I got texture issues. So yeah. So again, these edges, I like when that happens. You see how it kind of folds, you know? Do that little ripple like a flower. Usually the thinner it is, the better it is like that, right? So I don't get too crazy, and the fire is up. So I'm just, you know, gonna move this process right along. You should put some music on while I do this. Or maybe you got stuff to do. We could just, you know, hang out together, you know. I have to say, sometimes Nutella does not look appetizing, you know, especially when it goes from being in the fridge. It does not. I don't care. Call me immature. It is what it is. But if you seen the first one, it was much stiffer, and now it's a little cooler. If you leave the container, bottle, whatever, on the stove while you're doing it, it allows it to, you know, start that melting process. So yeah, if you put it in the fridge, like I put it in the fridge, I like putting it in the fridge when they get close to the expiration date. And I just have a habit of doing that to some things anyway. Um, and I'm like, oh, it's in the fridge, like it's open, you know. So meanwhile, I don't put peanut butter in the fridge, so I don't know why it's different. I guess I respect Nutella more, right? ah, let's see. Did you finish your actual breakfast, or did you just eat that one?
I finished my actual breakfast.
Two. Ooh.
Yes.
So you came back over here for another one?
Bacon.
Oh. Bring your plate. What do you think I'm gonna do? Just put it in your hand? Hmm. You heard that? That was the bacon. Bacon grease. Ain't gotta touch my butter. Man. I'll put this in the butter thing. Might as well. So this is the end of that. I didn't move fast enough. This is going to be a little puffy in the middle, but that's okay. Ah, you see that? You see that? Yeah, because if I would have just picked that up and it was sticking, ooh, it would have just ripped on up. Not that it matters because it's all going in the same place, but the aesthetics. The aesthetics. The other difference about like making puffy pancakes versus flatter pancakes, aka my version of crepes, is you'll see it'll be a little translucent in places. There's nothing wrong with that. You have changed the dynamics of puffy to flat or flatter. So, still a pancake. It's all good. Right? Right. See? It's all good. I'm going to do that again because this is thicker than the other ones. So, I'm going to let that happen. A little bit more Nutella. Then I'm going to heat up my omelet just a little. because I don't want it to be burned. It's already like toasty. Throw some cheese on it, and that'll be the end of that. Yeah, there we go. Got a little bit browner, and that's what I'm looking for. Sometimes you see people make crepes and it's like really, really light. But again, the mixture is different. They looking for something different. And I'm also using something different. Like not the actual crepe recipe. Just pancake mix with a little less batter. Thinner. You can add water, you can add milk, that's up to you how that works out. And that's it. You see that? It's already like melting. So yeah, that's how that's gonna go. And it looks like it's a little bit, but trust me, when it starts melting, because it's no longer in the refrigerator, be everywhere. And it likes to try to go through your pancakes, or flatter pancakes, or pancake crepes. So doing this works, because once the chocolate touch this, that's a whole nother thing. Now you done got a sugary product on high heat trying to do stuff. And you can't just throw stuff up here like that. You gotta scrape it, and you know, if there's one thing I really don't like is dishes. I like food. I like cooking. Do not like dishes. Okay? So, nobody's perfect. Alright. Here we go. I just want to heat it up because it's cold. There's certain things I just don't want to do a certain way. There's certain things I do not want to put in the microwave, you know? If you didn't see my last video, this is what I made. Tacos, aka enchiladas, with cheese and ham. And I put some olives on it and sour cream. It didn't look as pretty as this because I had messed up the plate, but this is the leftovers. And since I got some leftover shredded cheese, I'm going to use that now. You want some black olives?
No.
Go ahead. Yeah, you do.
No.
You want another one? Go ahead. Go to your table. Thank you. Alright. Okay. Quick tip. You could put cheese on your pan. There's lots of recipes that do that. It'll just get a little firm, a little crispy. And when it cool down, crunch. Just like that. So I'm just putting some expediency on melting the cheese. If you move it too quick, the cheese will not only be melted, but it'll smear completely, and you won't be able to pick it up with your spatula. Right? So you do the scoop. Right? That's the scoop. Here's the cheese. Just like that. Right? I just want to heat it up. I ain't need to cook it. It's already cooked. Okay. So, turning this off. Moving this away. That cool off. As I say, just because you turn this off doesn't mean it's still on. And even when you turn off the stove, if you leave something in your pot or pan, even though you turned off the stove, it's still hot, so it will still cook your food. Don't do that unless you're intentionally doing it, because it'll come back looking dark and maybe burnt, unless that's what you into, or you intentionally did it because you got kitchen fingers, you know. I use these up here. They're still good business. Yes, it's hot underneath, but it could handle it, trust me. So here's my breakfast. I'm gonna add some black olives because I can, and that's it. I'm all done. This is it. Breakfast is done. She ate all the bacon, but I was having fun. Don't mind me, y'all. What you doing? Right? You see how firm that cheese is? Yeah? You see how firm that is? Just pick it up.